everyone, I'm Vinay Banu at Huddy Park in downtown Toms River with Toms River Mayor Tom Kelaher to talk about another piece of history being added to Huddy Park, or to illustrate or tell the story of some of the history that has taken place here in Toms River, including about Joshua Huddy. So there's a lot of signage here that discusses the rich history here of Toms River, Mayor. What are some of the things that people can now be seeing across the park?
Right. Well, as you know, this is Huddy Park, and it's named after Captain Joshua Huddy, who was the captain of the blockhouse when the British attacked Toms River during the Revolutionary War. Toms River was a target because we had salt works at Barnegat Bay that go into the manufacture of ammunition, gunpowder, for the Revolutionary Army. And the British attacked the blockhouse one day, killed 9 of our militiamen, and burned down all of the buildings in the town. And the Captain Joshua Huddy, was taken prisoner by the British and transported to a location in Monmouth County, and subsequently condemned to death and hung by the British up there at a time weeks after the negotiators in London had declared peace. But because of the communication failures in those days, or the lack of it, he was executed even though the war was over. And that created quite a bit of controversy and caused a monkey wrench to be thrown into peace negotiations for some time. In any event, Huddy Park has been a feature of our town. We just spent over $3 million fixing the town up, and we have a great bunch of volunteers for our historic commission, and they conceived of this idea of doing these weatherproof panels to put around the park. We have 5 of them here in Huddy Park, and the particular one behind me here talks about Huddy's hanging and how it stalled the peace conference. The copy was all put together by the folks in the Historic Commission and was paid for by the capital budget of the town. And so we have one at the entrance and then the others scattered around the pathway here in Huddy Park. And we have one more to go up in Shelter Cove, because that's the spot where the salt works were that the British wanted to destroy. So it's a great thing. It's laminated, it's weatherproof, and it's going to be interesting for all of our residents who don't know that much about the history to learn about it, because each station has a different part of the history of this area.
Now, Joshua Huddy, a big part of the Toms River's history and the name for the park, as you had mentioned. Why is it so important to continue telling his story and the history of this township through these signs and, of course, with the Historical Society?
Well, I think it's important that everybody knows as much history as possible, and Toms River has some rich history, and it would be a shame if that whole story evaporated because of a failure to repeat it. And so that's, I would say, the theory behind what we've done here, and I will do everything we can to continue to promote that concept.
What are some of the other features with these signs and some of the imagery that's on here, some of the stories that are being told that people can look forward to once they're in the park?
Well, I guess there's one on the attack on the blockhouse and the loss of folks. I think we have one about the capture of Captain Huddy. This is the after effects of his capture and capital death sentence. I'd have to look at the others if we get a chance to do that here, but they're all a little bit of a different phase of that very era.
It's another great piece of history being added with these stories being told that'll continue to preserve Huddy Park for years to come here. What are some of the other ways that you're trying to help keep his spirit alive, the history alive here in Huddy Park, with these signs, with what's going on across the township, to continue to preserve the history of what has been a township here since the Revolutionary War, or even before, a village, rather?
That's correct. Well, one of the very effective things we did, if you remember, a year ago, is we celebrated our 250th anniversary, and that was all based on the history in Huddy Park and Joshua Huddy and the development that you just recited, and that's the type of thing that we intend to continue to pursue. I know in the past we've had school children come to the town hall and listen to lectures on this whole subject matter of the early history of Toms River. And anything we can do, I know I've been invited by teachers to come to different classrooms and review that type of history too. So we're open to do anything we can to continue to maintain that knowledge within the community.
You think this signs like these and stories like these will make kids more especially interested in learning more history, not just general history, but history about their own town that they may not have known, with signs that are pleasing to the eyes and easy for kids to understand?
Vince, I believe that's a given, okay? And the panels are written in a language that children can appreciate and understand. They're going to be there for a long time. The pictures help create the image of what it was like in those days, and I think that they're going to go a long way toward perpetuating that history of the town.
Mayor Kelaher, thanks for the time.
Okay, Vince, thank you too. It's a pleasure.
Signs across Huddy Park explaining the history of Joshua Huddy and the township of Toms River for all to see for years to come.